From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MVW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
And broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. Let's talk a good bit of football today, as well as a lengthy interview with the guys over at Blue Delta Jeans. We teased that yesterday. You'll get that today. We'll discuss them being the official jean of the USA Ryder Cup team. Well, for the people that have not heard their story before, we'll give you a little backstory on how they have made a heck of a company in the state of Mississippi. So we'll get to that and more today on the podcast, brought to you in part by brought to you by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Daiquiris, lunch specials, stadium cups now have returned. We know with the home game last weekend, home game this weekend. Save that stadium cup. Take it to the Oxford Exxon. 49-cent bottomless refills all year long on that. You also get great gas prices courtesy of the Mobile Rewards Program, the Speed Pass Plus app, and more. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900, 662-257-1900. Call that number, ask for Corey Clark, tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He's going to send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, and that quote's going to be right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. Just a straight quote that's going to be the best deal you're going to get. Now, a lot of people don't believe that, so you're going to go shop the quote, and that's cool. Do that. It can be a baseline for you moving forward. You're going to end up coming back to Clark Ford, doing what I've done 3 times now, and that's getting yourself into a Clark Ford. You'll love the product. You'll absolutely love the service. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy, and he'll prove it to you. 662-257-1900.
So we'll get into a little Ole Miss. We'll get into the Blue Delta thing here in a little bit as well. Saints play last night, win on the last second, really good Monday night game, all that stuff. I might still be broken. I had no emotions, positively or negatively, as that game went on last night. I watched the entire thing. I watched every play. I didn't really participate on Twitter. I had a bunch of group texts going where I wasn't really participating. I was fairly numb throughout the entire game. Maybe it's week 1, I don't know, but I'm beginning to think those 2 playoff losses have caused a more cumulative effect than maybe I had realized.
I enjoy a contest so much more if I'm not on Twitter. Just first thing that comes to mind. I don't tweet during Ole Miss games and stuff. I find a lot of the in-game tweeting from people to be, I don't know, doesn't do much for me. It was a hell of a game. It was very entertaining. I watched just about all of it. There was a period in the third quarter where I was cooking dinner and stuff, and I had to get away from it for a minute to get stuff done. But it was a heck of a game. Drew Brees is really, really good. Deshaun Watson has emerged. It helps to have an elite left tackle, but he has emerged as a very dangerous quarterback. The Texans are good. That's a good team. The Saints are good. Breaking Drew Brees is great at football, and there's a big time kick by Lutz, and just a lot of fun. It was a fun game to watch, and as that game progressed, I thought these are 2 playoff teams. Period. These are 2 teams that are going to be playing in January, and they both came out of that with probably some things that they are just worried about and disturbed about, and they both came out of that thing with a lot of things to be encouraged about. And 78 for the Texans. Wow.
He got beat one time, and it was a very critical beat as Davenport did get to the quarterback. For the most part, though, he might have been the best player on the offense with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he was. You know, hey, that league.
Everybody good.
Everybody's pretty good. Davenport gets paid to play football professionally.
Yeah, and he schooled him on. He got to Watson and almost decapitated him on that one play.
Yeah.
But for the most part, especially in the first half, it completely negated anything from that side of the line from the Saints. It was quite frustrating for yours truly. That might have been my biggest emotion, is I was very annoyed by Tunsil's presence last night. That was my main emotion through 3 quarters.
His presence was impactful for a lot of the game, and it shows you that for them to win the game, they eventually had to beat him one time, and that proved to be. And
then, Watson makes those. Look, the Saints' defense was horrid. Their 2-minute defense is just pathetic the last several years. However, 2 huge throws from Watson under pressure right there because they got to him and he still got the ball off.
I'll tell you what's interesting about the NFL game compared to the college game is the officiating in the NFL game is so. Well, frankly, it's really good, but it's also they follow the rules on pass defense. You get punished for grabbing. The college game, like the Ole Miss Arkansas game the other night, there was so much interference on both teams that just didn't get called.
Which then, when you call one, you go, well, hold on, that's been happening all night. So it creates even a worse thing when they start calling it at the end of the game.
SEC officiating, college football officiating is just bad. I know everyone thinks that they're out to get your team, whoever your team is. I don't really think they are. I just think they're bad.
And then what college can learn from the NFL? We've said this 1,000 times. As good as those NFL officials are, they make a very critical mistake at the end of the first half. Cost the Saints 15, 20 seconds. Probably cost the Saints 3 points if you really want to consider it. That's a pretty big 3 points there at the end of the game. They had a pool reporter after the game. It was Larry Holder with The Athletic. Goes, asks, hey, what happened? We screwed it up. There was 41 seconds left. We should have stopped it right there. We should have run 10 seconds off or offered Peyton the timeout. Instead, we allowed it to run down to 26, and then we put 10 off from there. It was our fault. We screwed up. Moving on.
Yeah, transparency.
You're humans. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Just be present and admit it.
Yeah,
Instead of this college thing where, oh my God, can't speak to an official. End of the world.
Oh yes, these protect the student athlete, protect the officiating, protect everyone. Stop.
That's it. Huge error. Huge.
It's another reason that from a consumer standpoint, the NFL is far, 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 far more aesthetically pleasing, and the games get done.
That was still the problem with the college game. Ole Miss did a really good job from a game day thing. They've cut out a bunch of the announcements. They've cut out a bunch of the ceremonies. But they can't do anything about the TV timeouts, and they are getting horrific.
Yeah. Kudos to Michael Thompson and all the people over there. I thought their game day...
Everything ran really smoothly from that standpoint on Saturday night.
I thought it was significantly better than it's been in the past.
Yeah,
so kudos to them. But yeah, there's nothing to do about it. I kept saying to you, why are we sitting here for 3.5 minutes? What are we doing? The game's 4 hours. I mean, you want the kids to come, like we're talking about college kids, for example. You want the kids to come early to do the pregame stuff. You ask them to come early. The schools ask the kids to come early. And so they do. So that means they're there for 30, 45 minutes before kickoff. And then the first half takes 2 hours. And then you're like, hey, sit through this 20-minute halftime and then come back. It's a long... Hey, give up 5 hours of your time for this football game. I'll be honest, if I weren't paid, I wouldn't sit 5 hours for a football game. No chance. Zero chance.
There's no way to not have a lull in it where it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they've got to come up with something, a better system. And then like LSU and Texas kicked off at the same time Ole Miss did, and it was a network game. That thing was still going.
Yeah, when Ole Miss ended, there were 4.5 minutes left in that game, I think.
Yeah, when we got into the media room for the press conference thing, that game was still going.
Yeah.
Silly.
Well, the Raiders won last night. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't make it up for that. I watched the Saints Texans. I watched the first inning. No, I watched the first 2 innings of Cubs Padres because I wanted to see Nico Horner's first at bat. And then I went to bed.
So you only watched the first at bat. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, I watched his first at bat and then I went to bed. I'm not particularly invested in the Cubs right now. I know if the season ended today, they'd be in the wild card game. holler at me if they win the wild card game. I don't think they're going to be in the wild card game. I don't think they can hold off the teams behind them. But and frankly, at this point, I almost hope they don't because they need to shake it up.
I did follow Twitter a little bit. I wasn't necessarily involved in Twitter was probably the better way to put it. I did follow Twitter for some different things last night, and I watched the game in silence. I had no volume. That was pretty nice. I actually really enjoyed watching the game with no volume. Carly-Ann was asleep. I didn't need to wake her up, so I just watched the picture.
Kudos, because Booger McFarland is awful.
Yeah, no clue. I did not have any volume on the entire football game.
He's awful. Talks too much. Not particularly insightful.
Has Romo been locked up, or could ESPN throw $10 million at him?
That I don't know. Romo would be terrific on that broadcast, but
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. You can be worse people in life than Tony Romo.
It's all worked out.
A ton of money. Got out fairly healthy. Great voice. Great looking guy. Real smart.
Scratch golfer.
Yeah, I know this will shock you. His wife's an absolute freaking supermodel. Yeah. Life's probably pretty good. I'm guessing the bank account's full.
If it's not, it's going to be even more full soon because somebody's going to pay a lot of money for his talents.
God was good to Tony Romo. When he got in all the lines, he got to go to the very front. You know what I mean? Hey, this is the intelligence line. Tony Romo's like, I think I'll head to the front now. And then we got out of there. Instead of having to go get in the back of the line for looks, they're like, no, just move over here. Move over. Here you go.
Athleticism, now, sure.
We're going to give you tons of athletic ability, too. Here you go, pal. Like a great voice and a great head of hair here.
Oh,
I got in the back of the majority of those lines. I don't know how that worked. I never got to get up near the front.
Oh, gosh. Looking ahead, we get the rematch that, if I get invested, will potentially kill me this week. Saints at Rams this coming Sunday.
You're watching it. Come on.
Oh, I'm watching it, but I'm not ready for the Rams yet. You know, because I see that's what's happened. I'm telling you, I'm broken because typically, because of Dylan and I know all the players and like I kind of like the Rams. I usually watch the Rams when they aren't playing the Saints. Like Sunday, I had no interest in the Rams. Didn't want a snap of it. Stay away from me. Mm-mm. None. Rams -3, by the way, is the opening line, which is basically Vegas saying they're dead even.
Yeah.
Vegas going, I don't know, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Chicago's at Denver. That's a must-win all of a sudden.
Yeah, for sure.
Denver's not good. Can't go 0-2.
No, you can't go 0-2. Bears have to go win it.
Atlanta's got a home game against Philadelphia. That might be a must-win so the Saints don't run off from them. I did not think Atlanta played well at all.
I don't like the Falcons team. I don't think they're particularly good in general. I think their quarterback's overrated. I think the Saints are winning the South. I don't think, barring a rash of injuries to critical people, the Saints are winning the South probably easily.
I think the Panthers are the closest competition.
Are going to win the AFC South.
Who is?
The Texans.
Okay. You're not buying into the Titans on the win over the Browns?
I think that was more about the Browns than it was the Titans. But the Titans have been a very steady team the last several years. They're going 9-7 again. I liked what I saw from Deshaun Watson last night.
No, he was great. He was good. Facing a pretty tough pass rush. The Saints can get after the quarterback.
Yeah, they've got some talented receivers. I like.
Oh, they're great at receiver now. They're really good.
I like their team. They're going to do nothing but get better offensively and defensively. They present some challenges. They're one of the few teams that I've ever seen confuse Drew Brees a little bit. I thought in the first half there were some times when Brees wasn't exactly sure what they were throwing at him, and he wasn't particularly sure where to take the football.
Mm-hmm.
Then halftime came, and the robot kicked in, and that was that.
Your Thursday night game this week, Tampa Bay at Carolina. Speaking of must-wins, considering they've already lost one home game, Carolina might want to get that one. Just saying.
It's a good game. I bet NFL players hate Thursday night. Can you imagine?
The turnaround?
Yeah, just the physical toll of playing one of those high-level games, and then 4 days later you're playing again.
Yeah, Peyton was complaining even about the turnaround from Monday night to a West Coast road game Sunday afternoon last night.
I get it. I mean, those guys get up today, and I don't know how they walk. And you got to get ready.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. You got to have them back in this morning to get all the film and all that stuff over. You can't get that day off now. It's just moving. Got to go.
So. Yeah, because normally Monday's an off day.
Yeah. Correct. Come in at some time, get your therapy, and then go home. Ole Miss yesterday spoke to Matt Luke, Rich Rodriguez, Mike McIntyre. The only really thing, I guess injury-wise, everybody's good other than Braylon Sanders. We'll see there. Obviously, Sanogo has been reported. He's out. Surgery today, actually. 10 weeks, but you got to think it's pretty much season-ending. I thought the most interesting part, and I think it's just his personality, was Rich Rodriguez still really pressing, challenging Matt Corral. Yeah, he's better, but hey, got a long way to go. Good things, bad things. I thought that, not really sending a message, that's way too strong, but and some of it's just Rich Rod. I did think, though, that he watched that game and went, yeah, we're better, but nowhere near the efficiency and the proficiency that maybe he's looking for.
I think that's fair. I think it's two things. One is Rodriguez is a perfectionist, so he's always going to find something. And two, there was a lot to find. That was Matt Corral's first SEC start, ladies and gentlemen. If everything goes according to plan, it was the first of 32 SEC starts. The plan is to get better with each progressive one. It was his second career start. There's a lot of development still to be done. And what's going to happen now, just prepare everyone, is that everyone has film on Corral now. And people are going to try to start taking away the things that he does and make him do something else. The chess game kind of starts now.
Rich Rod must have painted, just absolutely ripped the paint off the wall when Corral pitched that ball to Cooley. Because it's been mentioned multiple times, and he appeared not happy at all with that decision.
Yeah, he said he really could not go back and tell us what he said. That just wasn't safe for our ears.
It was quite the late pitch.
I'm going to guess that the F word was used as a noun, verb, adjective, adverb, prepositional phrase. He probably dropped that in just about every possible grammatical.
Probably the one where Corral becomes the puppy for a minute and goes, whoa, okay, I'm just going to sit here and shut up now.
I don't think he talked back.
Yeah.
I think he listened.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Got it. We won't do that again.
He heard all of that and then just said, well, I guess I made a mistake, and moved on. I mean, it just doesn't – I don't think the cursing got to him.
No.
Doesn't bother him.
I think you can yell at Matt Corral. Not a precious flower, I don't think.
He knew. He knew the moment he did it. That was stupid.
Well, I thought he had the first down.
But that's the learning curve. That's the learning curve.
Yeah, young kid trying to do too much. That's what Rich Rod said. He goes, look, I want him to be competitive. I want him to get after it. But, hey, within the confines of the structure here, there's a difference.
Yes, it's a learning moment. He's going to have them.
And he gets to learn after a win, which is a hell of a lot more pleasant.
At some point, he's probably going to have a learning moment that results in a loss.
Yeah.
It's just reality. Young quarterback, young team. Lot to build on, a lot to work on. There are struggles and losses forthcoming.
Thought McIntyre, from looking at snap counts, did a really good job of keeping everybody somewhat fresh, kind of moving them around a little bit. He got 20 players at least 15 snaps on Saturday night.
Well, they have more depth over there. They do have more options on defense than Rodriguez has on the offensive side.
Yeah.
I tell you what I took out of Rodriguez was a challenge to every wide receiver not named Elijah Moore.
Well, there was truth to that now.
It was, hey, kind of what I said yesterday. Someone's got to develop. You know, and he kind of got one of those questions. Well, you see some of those guys coming, right? Right? Please, right? And he was like, no, not really. Not happened yet. I mean, we know they can, but it hadn't happened yet. It's got to happen soon.
Yeah, because they said, who's the whatever, and he goes, every one of them. Somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. Teams are going to focus in on Elijah Moore. Southeastern Louisiana won't be able to do it. Cal might. Alabama's going to take him away.
Yeah, I went and actually watched a little Cal yesterday in a free moment. Defensively, pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Now, their offense puts me to sleep, but...
Well, their offense had 4 drives that resulted in negative yards, and they still won the game. That tells you about their defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, here soon, in 12 days, Cal's going to they're going to try to take Elijah Moore away. 2 weeks after that, or 1 week after that, I mean, it's Nick Saban 101. They're going to take away whatever your strength is. They're going to take that away. You have to beat him somewhere else. So they're going to take Elijah Moore out of the game,
which becomes a great learning opportunity. No matter the score, that's irrelevant. A great learning opportunity and a challenge for Dontario Drummond, Miles Battle, those guys, whomever.
Yeah. Jonathan.
Yeah, Mingo.
And they'll be a little better when they get Sanders back. They miss him a lot.
Yeah, most experienced guy out there.
It's forced some young guys to answer the bell, and so far they haven't done it.
Credit to Elijah on Saturday for still getting open that much, being the only dude.
They couldn't cover him. I started watching that. They were trying. I mean, Chavis was trying to bracket him and kind of take him away. They just couldn't do it. Now, they were worried about Mingo because they kept safety help with Mingo the whole night.
Elijah had the best Pro Football Focus grade on the team on Saturday. And of the 4, well, actually, I can even take this up a little bit. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of the 7 worst scores on the offense, 5 were wide receivers.
Yeah.
Jackson, Gregory, Battle, Drummond, and Mingo.
Yeah.
Got to get some there. Got to get better.
Oh, or else.
And then, now, look, if the offensive line plays okay, here's the positive news from a grade standpoint. We'll move on in a second. Ely and Phillips, both really good grades, good days. Snoop Connor did pretty dang well. They've got some options there at running back if they can get some space for him.
Yeah.
Woolard only played 3 snaps, but even graded out pretty well.
He's a solid player. I said this last year, and people got mad.
He's getting passed by talent right now.
Yeah, he's just not going to be an impactful SEC running back.
This is Phillips' show, and then they're going to get Connor and Ely ready.
Yes,
that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying stuff about kids, especially kids that I like. He's such a nice kid, and he did a really good job last year when he was kind of forced into a role. But he's just not an impactful SEC running back.
Phillips played 51 snaps. Connor played 23 snaps, and Ely played 20 snaps.
Yeah, and I think you'll see those other numbers go up some.
Yeah, Woolard played essentially the last 3 snaps of the game on offense. Best I can tell.
Connor's been really impactful between the tackles. Ely, obviously, very dangerous in space. He can really move. They both.
His first touch of the night was the first time on a football field he's been able to go, whoa, he's quick. Like it was different.
That space where he could shift gears.
Yeah, it was different. Nobody else on the offense looks like that other than maybe Elijah.
That's fair. Yeah. I thought Rodriguez had a great plan. I did. The more I've kind of looked at some things and tried to be educated. I thought he had a really good plan. I suspect in the passing game, I'm guessing here, he's a little frustrated with Rodriguez, a little frustrated with Matt Corral's insistence on the right side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he'd like to see him spread it some, because defenses are going to be able to key in some. But again, we're setting up for a really fun chess match when Cal comes here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that in 2 weeks. So we'll get into the Blue Delta interview here in a minute. Before we do that, I'll tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. Reading local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and with rates as low as they've been in about 2 years. Good time to talk to Jason about refinancing, about purchasing with Community Mortgage. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
7 South Tailgating offers packages for any budget, any party size, any number of games needed. Whether you're coming to one game, all 7, or somewhere in between, they can build a tailgating package to suit your needs and your budget. If you prefer to use your own personal tailgating gear, they'll store, maintain, clean, and repair that gear as needed throughout the season. If you prefer to rent some or all of the gear from 7 South, they offer many colors, types, and sizes to choose from. Call or go online today for a detailed quote customized to your specific needs at 662-321-1682 or visit 7southtailgating.com. Celebrate 125 seasons of Ole Miss football with this exclusive offer. Pick one conference game, one non-conference game, which includes parking for just $125. For more information, visit OleMissTix.com. Fresh off a victory over the Arkansas Razorbacks, join the Rebel football team back in the Vaught on September the 14th, that Saturday, versus Southeastern Louisiana. Tickets still remain, can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The 2019-20 Ole Miss Hoops season just around the corner. Don't miss any of the action of Coach Yo's women's basketball team and Coach Kermit Davis's men's team this season in the pavilion. For tickets, visit OleMissTix.com. And join the Ole Miss soccer team on Sunday, September the 15th at 1 p.m. as they take on South Alabama. Admission is free, so bring the family out and enjoy. We're also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB has a commercial checking account now paying 1% interest as long as you keep $10,000 in the account. It comes with fully interactive online banking that can set up any local business to deposit checks from their office and not have to worry with coming to the bank daily to deposit those checks. More than likely, any business owner at another bank is paying a monthly fee for their account, and they're most assuredly not making 1% on their money. To learn more about that commercial checking account or just OUB in general, check out Live Oxford, bankoxford.com, or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we're brought to you by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. He's a big part of Savannah Square, which is a new 9-acre development 7/10 of a mile from the Oxford downtown square, conveniently located east of North Lamar, just a short stroll from the Midtown Shopping Center. If you're coming into town this weekend, check out Savannah Square. It's initially consists of 32 standalone homes. The size is about 1,100 to about 2,400 square feet. You can check out the model home at 215 William Street. They have wonderful layouts, impeccable finishes. Get in touch with Harry. Look at SavannahSquareOxford.com and then get in touch with Harry at 662-801-5621.
Podcast also brought to you by Mastercuts Lawn and Landscape, premium lawn care throughout northern Mississippi, and a lot more as well. Custom playgrounds, retaining walls, pool decks, outdoor living spaces with paper patios, forestry mulching, and much more. The patch your dream backyard easier than you think. You can go online at gomastercuts.com for a free quote, or that same free quote at 662-607-7773. Again, that's gomastercuts.com. Now here's our interview with all the Blue Delta guys, as well as Brandy Toms from Tom James. We were in the Blue Delta factory late last week as we talk a lot of Ryder Cup and Blue Delta. Here is that. Welcome into a special edition of the podcast here today. We're coming to you from the Blue Delta Jeans factory, and I guess Tupelo. Tupelo is the way we'll phrase this. We got a full room here. Myself, Chase Parham, Neal McCready.
Hello.
From Blue Delta, we have Josh West. Speak for everybody, so we know some names here.
Hey, this is Josh.
And then Nick Weaver, you've heard from him before as well.
Hey guys.
And then also today from Tom James, we have Brandy Toms, a senior merchandiser. We'll get to that. We're announcing, or at least discussing, some pretty cool stuff today as well. So Brandy, thanks for giving us a little time today as well.
Thanks for having me.
So we're getting into a little bit of Blue Delta. Obviously, our listeners are very well familiar. A lot of you are outfitted in Blue Delta at this point. We've done a good bit of that over the last year or so. But we'll retrace all that story, and then we'll talk about the fact that Blue Delta is the official blue jean for the Ryder Cup. That is next September at Whistling Straits in Kohler, Wisconsin. So we'll get to that as well. But really, thanks for having us in. We've seen the tour. We've gone through a lot of that stuff to see how the jeans get made. So Josh,
I may or may not have stolen a Chris Bryant jersey.
He saw a Chris Bryant jersey. He saw a David Ross jersey. Neal always gets a little excited when he gets around all the Cubs stuff, so you have to worry about him becoming a little bit of a klepto. But
if you borrow something permanently, it's not quite stealing. It's just kind of stealing. Because there's a possibility that you plan to return it.
You couldn't get it off the wall, right?
No, there was the one that was on the hanger that I thought, I wonder if I could...
Was it on a hanger?
It was on a hanger.
You guys left the Chris Bryant jersey on a hanger?
That was risky.
We could watch who we're letting in the door.
So, Nick or Josh, either one of you guys can take this. Obviously, we've talked about the events. We've got a lot of different things, but just for the quick history of how you guys sort of got to this point, how you got going. Let one of you take that over and give everybody a little bit of background here.
Yes, so we started Blue Delta in 2011. It was me, Nick, and one seamstress in a old outbuilding in a junkyard just outside of Tupelo. And we really just had the idea of making a premium jean bespoke, meaning straight from scratch, taking measurements and building out a custom jean. Neither one of us had any fashion background, maybe a little manufacturing background, but we learned how to make the product really from the ground up. We hired some former Levi Strauss seamstresses along the way. Tupelo, North Mississippi has just a great garment history. Most of that's moved overseas now, but there's still this remnant of talent in North Mississippi that we've been able to put back in business. And now we have close to 30 of those people sewing for us. We're out of the junkyard, thankfully. We're making I think the best bespoke jean you can find in the U.S. right now, right here in Tupelo.
That is the main question: is how did y'all get to jeans? And I always said that it's like asking a man from Texas how he got into oil. It was in our backyard. And we are numb to the fact that we have a waiting list of seamsters and people that want to come work for us. Earlier when we were talking to Brandy. Brandy is a big buyer of us, and she is part of the reason of our growth internationally and in the U.S. And we thanked her earlier with, hey, this relationship is generating a industry. We are hiring people. They are purchasing cars from local dealerships. Clark Ford probably, and they are doing. It's fun to pull up and not be able to find a parking spot outside. That's it's small wins. It's always nice to hear a good to like see a shout out on Twitter or be in an airport randomly and see a guy wearing your jeans. But there's no better feeling knowing that there's people got jobs in the U.S. And these people are from here. And we're making it here. And with the help with Brandy, we are selling it everywhere.
How have you been able to kind of make that decision on how many to have, as far as the growth on adding the extra seamstress, adding onto your building here, all these different things as far as, because I would assume you have some idea of, predictions, but the way you guys do it, it's not like there's just a set number every week. So how do you sort of go about that over time?
Yeah.
And, I got to give a lot of credit to Josh making all of us go through Toyota lean processes. Now we have making garment down to within 120 seconds, if you will. We are making more jeans faster, and we are inspecting them more along the way. So we're going faster, and we're making a better quality product. It's a little bit of egg before the chicken. We can't predict sales. Like you said, are we going to go see 5 teams this month? Are we going to go see 2? Or is there going to be a Tito's Vodka event, or it just depends. But if you go look at our calendar on there, every week's pretty full. Yeah. It's definitely raining outside, so we're grabbing the buckets, so it's fun.
Yeah, and it's art and science planning that. You have to hire ahead of time because you've got about 6 to 8 weeks of true training time to get somebody where you really need them. So we're hiring ahead of time, and it's sometimes it feels like a giant leap. And as far as the building goes, when we get packed in and we just can't add another machine, we moved 4 times. I feel like we're going to be here for a while. We're in a good spot. We're in the South Lee Industrial Park. We've got a lot of land around us to grow. But yeah, as far as planning and hiring, another part of that is keeping the good people that you have. So a lot of industries, we're under 4% unemployment right now. So anybody that wants a job has a job. So now we're competing with other employers for labor. And the way you do that is treat them well, make sure they're comfortable, treat them like you want to be treated, and if you take care of them, they'll show up and take care of you.
You mentioned teams. I know a lot of people who listen to our show are big sports fans. How many teams are you outfitting now? How many teams are you with?
We have 22 NFL teams where we have a significant, more than one, if you will. We have 29 out of 30 MLB, clubs that we're seeing that are. So it's we are doing a lot of college basketball. When we were at the Final Four this year, we were teamed up with CAA, which has been a great partnership from the NFL Combine to the Final Four. But at the press conference, John Calipari and Chris Beard were wearing our jeans. Kermit was, wearing our jeans as well. So, it was nice, having guys that we couldn't afford to sponsor, nor would they take our money probably. But they're just good guys and they enjoy the product, so they tell people about it, and that's, that organic, feeling, people can sense when it's real, it's a smell test, if you will. And people genuinely enjoy the product, so and they tell people about it.
That's what I think is cool. Is I hear stories about how, and not necessarily from you guys, from other people, that when you guys show up now at a Major League Baseball clubhouse, for example, the players are pumped. They're like, "Oh, the Blue Delta guys are here." It wasn't that way originally. What was kind of the first? I know you've told the story before, but we have listeners who probably didn't hear it the last time. How did that kind of go about? I know that is it Aaron Barrett?
Aaron Barrett, right?
Yeah, who just got called back up to the major leagues. By the way, congratulations, Aaron, in the event that you're listening.
Right.
But how did that kind of come about?
It was Aaron's. Aaron's brainchild. Aaron's the first one that told us to come down, and then he introduced us to Papelbon, Old Boston Boy, and Ryan Zimmerman is a class act. Papelbon is crazy. I love him, but he's crazy, as y'all know. But it was those good guys right there. I think we ended up doing almost 30 pair in 3 days.
Me, Nick, and our head pattern maker at the time went down to watch some baseball and hope to be able to sell a few pair of jeans.
Basically to write some stuff off on the business credit card.
We thought it was going to be a fun weekend, but we got in the locker room and there were other clothers set up in there selling suits and ties and stuff. And we said, okay, this is where these people buy clothes. They're hard to fit. Wow. And when they saw the product, we just realized, all right, this is going to work. How do we get into other clubhouses? Right. Beautiful thing about baseball is a lot of trades. So you get the guys in the product, they love the product, and then the next year they're on another team saying, we need the Blue Delta guys in this locker room. And then just building those relationships from that one contact, and eventually over time, a couple of spring trainings later, That was also Nick's inaugural cigar celebration. It did not end well for
It
Nick.
did not end well.
We won't go into
celebrating
detail.
cigars. I was like, why don't I do this more? And it ended with me in the medium of interstate losing my dinner in the grass.
Yeah.
I blame it on Josh's driving, but it's he said, she said.
So 29 teams, what's up? Why can't we make it even?
Reds.
Yeah, it's one team. We set up. It was kind of funny how they told us no. They actually told us yes, but then we got there. We set up in the parking lot, like literally on the sidewalk. Like we basically were, you got your peanuts. That's what we felt like. We're like, we're never doing this again. So you had a bunch of just fans walking by, and if you're a Reds fan at spring training, you've liked them since.
Yeah. You love some Reds. Yeah.
Nothing's happened since the Big Red Machine.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So you basically had a bunch of grandfathers and 8-year-olds asking about, like, why the hell are you hot, selling blue jeans on the sidewalk? So you talk about, there's some highs and lows. But
So you never quite got to Joey Votto that day.
No, we did not. And we actually didn't get Zach Cozart. We slid in his DMs, but he didn't respond until he got with another team. So yeah, the Reds are off the list forever because we don't sell cotton candy or peanuts.
Sorry. So let's jump into the news. One of the main reasons we're here today, the official blue jean for the Ryder Cup again next September. And I guess I heard about it at some point. I guess Blake shared a little bit. We kept some secrets and some different things. How did it come about? What happened here? Because I'm a big golfer, as most of the listeners know from listening to me talk about it throughout the time. It kind of got my antenna up a little bit.
Well, we always knew that we couldn't trust Blake with shit, so that's good. But no, it's that happened the same way as the Major League happened. Yeah. It started off with a bottle of Pappy 15 year, and Pete Beckwith at the time was the CEO of the PGA.
Bivacqua.
Yeah, Bivacqua. Yeah. Sorry. I can't hear the difference. But at the time it was Davis Horton for the PGA as well. He's an Oxford guy that went and got his MBA in Georgetown, just a sharp guy. And it was those two guys, and that night is when we started started brainstorming on how to do a partnership with the PGA.
And Pete and Davis are both no longer with the PGA of America, but crucial in setting up the relationships with their merchandising teams, had us down, really just wanted to figure out a way to help a brand that they like to wear. Yeah. And said, what do you guys think about being a sponsor of the Ryder Cup? And, we were like, that sounds great. How much we talking? So, it was one of those things where we thought, there's no way we can do this, but they were just crucial in making the structuring the deal where it made sense for both parties. And so we just moved along and worked it out.
Take a break in our talk with the Blue Delta guys to tell you about Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page there on the website. Make it a resource for you. Bookmark it. See all the things going on in town this week and every week. Everything from the South Talks lectures going on at the Tupelo Room, the Barnard Observatory. Those going on all week long. Thacker Mountain on Thursday at Off Square Books. The public double-decker bus tours we tell you about on home football weekends. That's Fridays at 4 o'clock for that. You got music and movies at the park that day as well, that night at Avent Park, and much, much more. So go to the events page, see everything as far as what to do, where to stay, where to eat, and more. Again, that's visit oxfordms.com/events.
Podcast also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one today. Tell Gene and Sandy you heard about Grenada Nissan on this here podcast, and you'll get Rebel savings on top of the already great deals at Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. Also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. You should check out his Instagram page. It's JCT Edwards. A lot of photos from trips that he's booked for himself. Through his connections, he can book those kinds of trips for you as well. We talked yesterday about some of the trips that he's booked for podcast listeners who have used his services. If you've got a trip that you're thinking about, you want to have a trip that's a special trip that will create a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. At least let him give you some ideas. Let him give you a proposal. Doesn't cost you anything until you book something. So call him at 901-494-3387. Send him an email at jedwards@regencytravel.net. Just give him some parameters. Give him a budget. Give him some kind of what you're looking to do, and then sit back and let him give you some options. That is my suggestion. Again, jedwards@regencytravel.net or 901-494-3387. I'll have my mailbag out sometime tomorrow. It is brought to you by the Westin Jackson. You can restore serenity to your soul by visiting Soul Spots, the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. And then you can gather at Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. Their cocktail menu is fantastic, as is their curated wine list. It's open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. All of Chef Caden's offerings are fantastic. You'll love it. Chase and I both do. You will as well. So gather at Estelle at the Westin Jackson tonight.
When did it actually get finalized? When did you know it was for sure going to happen, I guess?
May or June?
I think end of May of this year.
Was there any worries, just because it is a clothing brand, conflicts with Polo, who outfits the team and different things? How do you sort of work around some of that, if there was anything?
We didn't have a dog big enough to even go to that fight.
Okay.
So the PGA really did a great job of carving out our partnership. We are the first official gene of Team USA. In the way they position the product and the way that we have positioned the partnership, I think it works for everybody, and it makes sense for the coordinated outfits that they actually do during the Ryder Cup. I was unfamiliar with the dress codes, the husband and the wife, and how they,
super scripted, down to the bags they're carrying.
Yeah.
But I think the PGA sees too, the world is just moving more casual in every aspect. And I think they're seeing us as the denim as a really good off the course pant, because a lot of golfers have their golf attire and then they have their off course attire. Some of that translates, but they did that as an off the course pant. And then when they saw the Holland and Cherry and that, hey, some of this stuff you can wear at the club, and the custom aspect, it was that they just fell in love with the product and helped a lot with them working us into the outfit.
So what's it kind of do moving forward? What's it mean for the consumer? What you guys got planned? Just kind of take me through some of that aspect of this.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Ryder Cup edition pant, which means you can really turn any fabric we offer into a Ryder Cup pant. It's going to have some really cool markings on the watch pocket where we currently do monogramming. It's the original old school Ryder Cup logo, which is really cool, classic, timeless. And then you have the new markup will be on the pocket bag. So the shield that you see currently will be in the pocket bags. So it's a jean that it's not like we're NASCAR-ing the jean up with a bunch of logos and sponsorships. It's still a classic looking jean, but you can wear it with anything. And you can do that with just a basic pant, but then we're doing a Ryder Cup edition Gino pant, which is our new fabric that Blake hasn't gotten you guys in yet, and it's going to be in a Ryder Cup box. We ship everything in our classic cotton-see paper sack, which is really cool. But we're stepping it up for the Ryder Cup pant. It'll be in its own box. It'll have some Blue Delta branded Ryder Cup swag, and we're still finalizing some of that. But it'll be a fun box to get open, and it'll be a great pant.
So obviously, we won't know for a while which players make the Ryder Cup team. I'm not, as Chase likes to make fun of me, I'm not Mr. Golf. I once shot a 147.
No, yeah. So I feel Brandy in on this because she has not heard the story. A few years ago, we were discussing if Neal, he'd swum a golf club once in 20-something years. Okay. Before that, didn't play.
Probably sweet though, Randy. It was amazing.
So we said if we played it all out, what would happen? What would he shoot if he had everything was regulation? You have to putt out the whole deal. So we turned it into a charity event. Ended up raising, I guess, $20,000 for St. Jude through it, where people donated a certain amount of money per shot.
Okay.
And we auctioned off 2 spots in the group to play with him, and even had a PGA Tour player play with him where he could hit 2 of Neal's drives for him on any hole he wanted to, and then Neal could play from that spot
Okay.
on. Even given all that, I believe Neal shot a 157.
Oh, interesting.
So it was not
the
perfect.
bigger I shot, the more money went to charity. So it made sense for me to tank it a little.
You sandbag.
I mean, I would have easily shot a 95, but I said I'm going to miss this one, and then I didn't know all the rules. Like Parham would always say,
I didn't really help either.
Well, besides that one, Parham would say, "Oh, that's a penalty." I went, "Why? Is it a penalty? The ball's right there." And I'd go to it, and I only missed one time, and all of my swings only missed the ball once, and they said that's a penalty, and I said, well, it shouldn't be, but regardless. So here's my question. I know most of the players that compete will shoot better than a 157, but not everybody makes the Ryder Cup. How do you, once they make the Ryder Cup, there's not a lot of time, so you guys are going to be fitting a lot of players, right?
Yeah. So the way they do that's pretty cool. So in May, we go up to a tournament where the top 30 golfers are at. And we'll measure the top 30 golfers. Now, obviously, all those guys aren't going to get Ryder Cup status, but we have their measurements on file. And when those Ryder Cup groups selected, and then the captains make all their picks, we have a pretty short window to turn those genes around for the Ryder Cup.
Like, how short is the window? I'm curious.
I don't know. I don't know when we're going to get that notification, because the
very last pick's only like a week.
Yeah.
It's I mean, obviously you'll have plenty of time,
Right.
but yeah, it's like a week when they make that final captain's pick usually.
The selection process is pretty unique, and but you know we'll be ready for it.
So the players will be in Blue Delta stuff from the moment they leave to go to the tournament until the final dinner?
No, so they'll have this very scripted from travel to bags, and there's a dinner. There's a casual dinner that's not very casual. It's a sports jacket and blue jean night, and so they'll be in their Blue Delta attire on that night for sure. And then obviously we're gonna give them a lot more than just one option. So obviously they'll take it and wear it long after the Ryder Cup's said and done.
And so the guy like me, who obviously is never going to play in the Ryder Cup, at least not likely, when I see those jeans, I'll be able to get a pair of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's maybe where branding comes in too, because I mean, obviously you're hoping that this is more mass product, this is more taken off. How do you sort of get that done as we move forward?
Yeah, so we're doing a national activation around the Ryder Cup. We've never, you guys hear how we get into places in our BDJ family that we talk about all the time, but this will be the first time we're really putting money behind a national marketing campaign, and that's where Tom James comes in. Tom James has been a partner of ours since 2013. We've been growing the business with them for several years. Brandy's been with us since day one as their senior merchandiser, dealing directly with us. And so we're going to rely on Tom James as the exclusive wholesaler for the Ryder Cup product. So Tom James has salespeople in every metro market in the U.S., London, Dubai. The list goes on and on. They're huge, an international company. They have over 500 sales reps. We have 5 really good sales reps, so you can see the how that works. We need their geography, and they're great at what they do. They've been around for a long time. They're the largest custom clother and seller to direct sellers.
We always have a ton of people that want to, that own a high-end men's store, and they want to pick up our brand because no inventory, it's great in the time of retail. But the problem is that they don't use a tape measure. And if we're teaching you how to use a tape, then normally, this is a game of quarter inches. So if you're off, then the fit's off. One thing that's great about these guys is that y'all do a couple weeks of training on tape. They've been around for 50 years. They're the largest custom clother in the world, manufacturer and seller. So we got to buy her dinner when she's in town.
Yeah, from your angle with Tom James, what makes Blue Delta appealing as one of your partners?
So what's great about them is, we're known for tailored clothing. Everything that you're wearing, suit and tie. So my part of the business is what you're not wearing when you're wearing that suit and tie. Pretty much what you all have on today. And what's unique about them is they brought something to the table that we had no interest in being involved in manufacturing ourselves. So it took a little convincing, You know, as Josh said, we had to do several phone calls and meet and greets before they got me to buy into it. But once I did, I can tell you that our company just took off with it. I mean, right now, half our sales professionals are selling it. And with this Ryder Cup launch, we're going to announce it to the entire company. So everybody's going to have the opportunity to bring it to their customers. We're giving them 570 doors, over 300,000 customers. So we are really looking to vamp up this business with them.
Sound good, Josh? You're good with
that?
I'm on board. Where do I sign up?
Board.
Josh is injecting that straight into his vein for the people who don't have ESPN 8 at home.
So this has been a long process. They're a big company, and it did take a while to get in the door and convince Brandy. We were more than just two rednecks. We are two rednecks, but we have a little bit of a product knowledge here. But this goes back to the Ole Miss family too, because Brandy started getting calls from Dave Shepard, who Tom James rep in Memphis. A lot of Ole Miss folks know him. Played tennis at Ole Miss. Great guy. Had a mutual client who bought our jeans, and he said, "My company really needs to be selling your product." And I thought it was one of those guys like Nick was talking about earlier. So I was nice on the phone and hung up. But then I Googled Tom James, and I said, we need to call this guy back. And then so he started the process, introduced me to Brandy, and that's how we started talking to Tom James.
What's been the build for the company over the years as far as, I mean, you can ballpark it, I don't need exact numbers, but just, how many jeans you've done, in a year when you started to now? I mean, what kind of growth has happened? I mean, do you have any idea?
Well, we've at least doubled every year in size. Now, that was easy to do in the beginning.
Not so much now.
Yeah.
But we still are doing it. We're going to make almost 20,000 jeans this year.
Really?
And we still don't sell a jean online. It is the word of mouth, like Josh just said, from the Aaron Barretts, the Davis Horton, the Dave Shepherds. The Ole Miss family's been good to us. The Mississippi family's been good to us. But just people in general, they like to take us home with them. It's a product that lasts. They are, we're, I guess we're people's underdogs sometimes. I feel like, they really buy into what we're, trying to do. So, growth has been great, and every week, we're in Jackson Hole, Wyoming on Monday, we're in Atlanta Wednesday, it's every week is a travel blog. I feel like that's what we have on our Instagram now,
I mean, I think it's also the experience, okay, that you're bringing something to them, they're personally getting measured. This is not an off-the-rack product, so you're giving them that something special. So I think it boils down to that, and the service that you're bringing.
Which is Tom James is a perfect partner. Even before we knew who they were, we were trying to get to somebody that could do that. Nick mentioned the measuring earlier. Not only that, they have well-trained tailors, but they're already selling high-end products. And so their customer, a $500 jean, they already get why it costs more. It's where it's made, how it's made, what it's made with. Holland & Sherry, they own Holland & Sherry. So they've been selling that story of that fabric for years before we even existed. So it's just a really good partnership for us because we don't have to go in and convince them of the value. They understand tailoring, they understand bespoke from the beginning.
I get this question sometimes, so I'll let you answer it. What is it about Holland & Sherry that's so special?
It's really the history and the culture. I mean, Holland & Sherry has been out there long before Tom James with their fabric expertise. They're creating, the designing. They are selling nothing but luxury fabrics. And the sales force out there, such as Dougal Monroe, that we all know very well, he can paint the picture. So as I mentioned, our customers are focused on the story. They want to know, why is it special? Why is it unique? Why am I paying $10,000 for this suit? Why do I need to pay $500, $600, $700 for this pair of jeans? So it's really about the story, having that backing. And that's what I think Holland & Sherry brings to the table. They're renowned not in their fabric, but the textile industry as well. So
What's next for you guys? What's what?
You stole my question.
Okay. I mean, is it
take over the world?
Somewhere? Well, okay, fair enough. But I mean, I know it's just keeping up with demand, that kind of thing. But I mean, is there?
I think
light bulbs for you a little bit.
I think we just need to keep concentrating on getting better at what we do. As the brand builds, there's so many bright, shiny objects. You don't know how many people are telling me, "Hey, I need a Blue Delta shirt. Do you have any T-shirts? Do you have any?" And that's not our wheelhouse. We make custom jeans, and we're going to keep finding better fabrics and finding better ways to make them and making them with better quality. The Blue Delta jean in 2013 was a good jean. We make a great jean today. We've improved every year with our quality and the way we make it, with our machinery, and I think what's next for us from on all angles is just get better. It's easier for me to do that in the factory because that's the way I think. Nick's, the best salesman I've ever been around, and he's going to figure out how to sell the jean better. And so, as long as we keep doing that and doing every day, I think we'll just continue to improve the brand.
And Josh nailed it right there. Hey, what we're good at. And I'm not sure anybody's doing it better than us, which is kind of weird to say, growing up in Mississippi and thinking about, hey, one day you could start a jean company that could be the best damn jean company in the country or world. It's kind of far-fetched, if you will, from, South Pontotoc High. But Josh said this one time and it made me giggle, and it still does. Like, we were talking about, all right, what would we do with the first thing we did if we shut this thing down? Josh said, I know what I'd do. I'd make myself 20 pair of pants so I'd never run out. And I was thinking, that's how I know we're doing it right. Because if we ever said, hey, I'm done with this, we'd go make ourselves pants because it's the best damn pant. So what we're going to do next is continue to find fabrics. 72% of the people that own a pair of jeans own more than one. Once I got you, I got you. Once you cook on a green egg, it's hard to go back to that charcoal, right?
There's no doubt.
Right, and that's what we, have is that, hey, I got a porcelain green grill over here, and it's awesome. But it's also creating these experiences that Brandy were talking about. We are renting a sailboat in the Hamptons, and where we're going to do a sell and shop event, where you can, sell for us for a couple hours and buy a jean. We've done pop-ups in clubhouses, but we've also done it in, private events, with, Ross York, and actually we did a Pappy event in Texas A&M, last week. We're doing tours and stuff with, Dak Prescott's been a big, pusher of our brand as well. So creating these unique experiences. People don't want to go to a strip mall anymore and pick something off the rack and go try it on 3 or 4 times. That's what they don't want to do. And we're the opposite of Amazon. You're not going to get it today. It's not cheap and it lasts forever. So if you want Amazon, get out your phone and go to Amazon. But, we're not that, and that's one thing that I'm happy that we're not getting into lanes that we're not good at. We're a good fastball pitcher, got a little movement, and, gonna throw a change up every now and then with some fabrics, but we're gonna stick to the heat.
Your lane slim.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that one part of it, though? You mentioned the experience and the time it takes. You kind of need it to be anticipated, but you don't need it to take so long to kind of forget about it, too. Is there a little happy medium there in a way?
There definitely is. And we've been on both ends.
When you find it, you tell us.
All right, yeah, gotcha.
No.
We have been on both ends of that, and Brandy can attest to this. If you sell somebody a $600 jean and you get it to them the next day, unless they're anticipating it, they're going to be like, what in the world? Where are you guys making this? And how? So, and traditionally the clothing industry is 4 to 6 weeks. About week 5, our customers start texting, emailing, hey, where's that jean? But we're well within that window. There have been times when people are waiting 8, 9 weeks for our product, but we're well within that 4 to 6 weeks right now. That's where we want to stay.
And now we can flex our labor. Like Josh said, back in the day when we weren't making as many jeans. If you had a really good month, well, that 6 week that you promised would go up. Not on Tom James, of course.
Of course.
But now it's nice to be able to control and to anticipate we're not selling jeans today to pay the light bill next month, And
that was a real thing in 2012.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, hey, how do we make payroll next month? And how do I eat? And that was...
As well.
Okay, they're going to eat. Then I also, too, have to eat. And it's kind of sweet to go back and think about all the little jabs that, you heard, former employees of mine, like, hey, I think a quote of my former employer was, your organic cotton pipe dream will never work.
Oh.
So, I love that sometimes. I just wake up, feel a little bit better.
Stuff like that's fuel.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
we got some of that with the podcast years ago. That every once in a while, just you want to stick that straight into your veins.
Yeah.
Get a little adrenaline rush.
I think Nick holds a grudge.
No.
Nor would I ever hold a grudge, Josh.
It's fun to giggle. You drink a lot of coffee in the morning, just giggle about it. But,
You mentioned a second ago when we were just kind of passing. What is this Geno's new fabric? Give us a little quick rundown on what we're talking about.
Yeah, so the Geno is kind of a mix between our denim and our Holland and Sherry. Our Holland and Sherry is more of a dress slack. It's a 10-ounce kind with stretch, but it's got to be treated like a dress slack, and it looks great as a dress slack. But our Geno is going to come in 10 different colors, popular colors that you're used to with the Holland Sherry, but it looks more like a chino. It's a 5-pocket chino, but it feels more like a performance pant. So it's a pant you can wear to work. It's super comfortable. It's got a great deal of stretch, but you can leave work, go to the golf course, feel completely comfortable, and never have to take it off. I mean, it's a great performance wear pant.
And luxury is supposed to be comfortable. Period. If you buy a good cut of meat, it's supposed to taste better. And that's what you're talking about. What's next is to keep the good fabrics coming. Because if you're going to make a jean the way we make a jean, well, then it only makes sense to use the best fabrics in the world. So that's why we continue to partner with Holland and Sherry. We're steady looking for. Meals and stuff to provide to our clients because our next sales are in our folders. They're already our clients. We don't have to be used car salesmen in your face. We're not a pushy brand. You don't get emails from us every day. Maybe a pig invite every now and then, but it's not an everyday blast of emails.
It's a product that sells itself. I have a neighbor who spent months and months and months debating, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And I was like, you need to get them. Just get a pair. If you don't like it, you'll have one pair of jeans. Right. And within about 2 days, he said, I'm already thinking of my next pair. And I said, yeah, that's
the funniest part to me is you're running people call you like, what about those gray ones? I'm like, hey, go ahead, get at it, have at it or whatever. Just kind of in close here for the people that are interested in these Ryder Cup pants, different things. When does that sort of become available now? I mean, like, when can pull the trigger immediately?
You can start buying the Ryder Cup jean now, and you'll start seeing some information on how to do that better. But very soon, you can be able to do it in any metro city in the U.S. through Tom James.
Mm-hmm. So even if you're not in Oxford, Mississippi, or you're not coming to an event. If you'll DM us on Instagram or if you'll send us an email, then we'll pass your information along to our partners over here with Brandy, and we can get you fitted in every city now. So it's a big deal.
Yes. We'll be looking for that. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the tour today as always. We'll do it again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks to those guys at Blue Delta for the tour and for hanging out with us. That interview you just heard. Also, appreciate G&M Pharmacy. They're right there on South Lamar in Oxford. Give them a call at 662-236-2222. You can transfer your medications over. If you're with someone else, go with the smaller company. We'll get to know you and take care of you. They also offer MedSync to make sure that your prescriptions are to you when you need them once a month on the same day. So it makes all the travel easy, makes deliveries easy, makes stopping by easy. And again, they do deliver to your home or workplace for free when you give them a call or go to the website at gandmpharmacy.com. You can check on their CBD oil options. That includes the roll-on, the under the tongue, soft gel capsules, and much more, as well as the sildenafil. That is their brand alternative to Viagra and Cialis. So take care of any of that you need with 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust and Pinnacle Trust 401k Advisory Services. When you work with Pinnacle Trust 401k Advisory Services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. So call Pinnacle Trust 401k Advisory Services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. It's pintrust.com. That's PINN trust.com. Picks will be out on Thursday, and Neil's picks are sponsored by Southern Craft Stove and Tap. Located off Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue, Southern Craft Stove and Tap places an emphasis on food and atmosphere, mixing the quality of fine dining with the come-as-you-are environment. Featuring 30 craft beers and offering a high-quality selection of cuisine and libations, Southern Craft Stove and Tap has you covered for any occasion. Join them for lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch, or have your favorites catered out. Catering orders placed online currently receive $25 off any order totaling $100 or more. So avoid the chaos of parking on the square. Head over and experience carefully crafted dishes with your favorite Southern ingredients. Southern Craft Stove and Tap, Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue in Oxford. And we talked about Blue Delta Jeans just then. They'll be in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Austin, Houston, and Atlanta this week. If you're in any of those areas, get in touch with them by sending them an email, info@bluedeltajeans.com. Book an appointment or a time for a private fitting. Blue Delta, as you now know, has been announced as the official jean of the USA Ryder Cup team. So we've been telling you for a while about how they're great for golf tournaments. This partnership couldn't be a more ideal product to bring to your golf club for tournaments and events. And the Gino that we talked about, it's finally out, and they're continuing to pre-sell the fabric. It's soft and comfortable, so they got a lot of great colors. Sewing will begin on Halloween, so don't miss on the opportunity. Reserve your spot in the first run of this great new fabric line from Blue Delta Jeans. And we're brought to you by Jackson Beer Company. 10 beer taps there for sampling and growler fill. You can mix your own pack of beers from their single shelf with more than 350 beers to choose from. Ask about their kegs to go. Get in touch with them if you're coming in this weekend, coming in for the Cal game, want to have your beer ready. Give them a call at 662-638-3642. You can pre-order. They'll have it completely ready. You can pick it right up. Text JBEER to 51660. Get on their text program for special deals. Follow them on all the social media, Jackson Beer Co., Jackson Beer Company, 1801 Jackson Avenue West.
So you sent this to me this morning. I had already seen it. The California Assembly continues to play a little political chicken with the NCAA. They move forward in their quest to make it legal for California student athletes at the college level to make money off their name, image, and likenesses beginning January 1, 2023. The vote yesterday, 72-0 to pass and to get into, it passed the state Senate. And now it goes to the governor, who has 30 days to approve it, veto it, and if nothing happens at all, it does go into law. Now, exactly what this means, that's a great question, because the NCAA has asked for essentially a hold to be put on it, for them to, review it and really study it in depth. California said, no, we're going forward, and we're going to make you make the next move. So if nothing else, I'm entertained and I'm interested as we move forward.
You know where this is headed. Give California credit. They're not backing down, and they did not appreciate the NCAA basically threatening them. And it's going to pass. It's going to become law in California.
So the quote that went with it yesterday, sponsor Sidney Kumlager Dove, a Democrat, says, I just want to say, NCAA, don't threaten California. Don't threaten us because we have formidable schools, we have formidable alumni, and we have formidable viewership. And we can leverage those things until 2023 when this bill takes effect. I'm sick of being leveraged by the NCAA on the backs of athletes who have every right to earn from their name and image.
I agree with her. Always have.
California is basically saying the NCAA is not going to reprimand every single one of our schools and make them ineligible. That's what they're counting on.
Corral should not be able to make money off of Matt Corral's name. Why Matt Corral can't make money off Matt Corral's likeness. It's his. The school can make money off of Matt Corral, but he can't make money off Matt Corral, and he's Matt Corral. Why? Explain that to me. And I know people are going to say, well, for every Matt Corral, there's... Yeah, remember the Tony Romo conversation we had at the beginning? Tony Romo's more athletic than me. Better looking than me. Oh, long shot. Probably more intelligent than me. Has a better voice than me. Is now much more connected than me. Makes more money than me.
Such is life.
It makes more money than I. See, I'm even screwing up the grammar. I mean, should I sue? My feelings are hurt? I mean, I think it sucks that he gets to be so good looking and I don't. So do I sue somebody, or is it just the way it is? I mean, Jared Duke was messing around on Twitter last night. He played next to Laramie Tunsil. Jared probably would admit that he wasn't quite as good as Tunsil. Is that fair? Should he sue? I mean, seriously, why can't Matt Corral make money off Matt Corral? And yes, is the Alabama quarterback going to make more than the ULM quarterback? Yep. Is that an unfair advantage? I don't know. It's life. Is there going to be more booster involvement in terms of endorsing kids at Alabama than there is at ULM? Yep, already is. Now it'll be on the table, not under the table. Now it'll be out in the open.
Can see it.
Yeah, give me a negative.
And a negative that's not already happening anyway.
Yeah, is it going to lead to a player going to a school that he wasn't originally planning to go to for financial reasons? Yep, happens every year. Now it'll happen out in the open. And when some 18-year-old kid is endorsing a Mercedes dealership in Atlanta or something, you'll know what happened. Que sera, it's life.
Yeah, somebody would throw Jake Fromm a nugget.
No, there probably won't be many people that want to do volleyball, that want to have volleyball players endorse them. Probably won't be a lot of that, but maybe there will. Maybe they make something that they don't make now. That's the way it is. WNBA players don't make as much as NBA players. Why? There's not as much demand to watch them. I get tired of the whole, everything must be even. Nothing in life is even. I mean, seriously, what's even? I mean, Carson didn't make the middle school basketball team. Wanted to make it. Worked really hard. Didn't make it. I think he got close, but he didn't make it. I said, well, bud, you know how babies are made, right?
What?
Yeah, well, the moment that the sperm and the egg mixed, your chances of making a basketball team weren't good. Weren't good. That's life. You're not going to play in the NBA. Not going to play in Major League Baseball. You want to be in Major League Baseball, you probably need to use that brain of yours. Get into analytics. Work on doing something where you can work your way into a Major League Baseball front office. You want to be a part of baseball? That's probably your path. And there are a lot of people that do that make it an extremely a great career. Very fulfilling, exciting career, and they make a lot of money. If you want to do that, you're going to have to use your brain. That's life, man. I mean, so why should Matt Corral not be able to cash in right now? Because it could be over quick. Terry Wilson, his value as a advertisee, if you will, just went down. No fault of his. He got hurt. He's not the quarterback at Kentucky anymore. It can end so quick.
Just like Sawyer Smith, I think is the kid's name, and now his is up. He's a starting quarterback at Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane that Tua Tagovailoa can't cash in right now.
Do you
And then I'll finish with the rant with this. Those of you that are saying out loud to your radio or your podcast, whatever, however you're listening to this, first, thanks for listening. Second, when you're saying, hey, they're getting a free college education. They are. But let's get real about the college education. For a lot of these guys, they're getting an education in something that the degree is borderline worthless. Most of these guys aren't in engineering. They're not getting pre-med degrees. They're not getting biology degrees, for example. They're getting degrees in fields that are, quote, easier, end quote, because of the demands on their time. And they're getting out of college with criminal justice degrees and driving a truck.
Do you believe LSU or Chris Del Conte?
About the air conditioner?
Yeah.
I believe LSU.
Do you?
Yeah, because Louisiana Tech tipped them off.
Yeah.
Did you know
LSU
that?
says La Tech tipped them off, that there was no AC in the visiting locker room at Royal Stadium or whatever it's called. Chris Del Conte comes back last night with the quote, "The comment today about lack of air conditioning in our visiting locker room is the first we've heard of any issues in the area. We provide one of the best visitor setups available and are proud of the efforts we put forth in hosting our guests. Our facility staff did not receive any complaints from Louisiana Tech or LSU, and we've confirmed that our air conditioning in the visiting locker room is in good working order," end quote.
It just means they turned it off.
Yeah. Not that it didn't work.
Yeah. I'm sure they turned it back on Sunday, and if anybody walked in and said, oh, it's cool in here.
Yeah, it's great. So LSU brought their own blowers?
Yeah.
Okay. So La Tech had no air conditioning.
No.
Which is a little bit of a health risk, considering it's 118,000 degrees outside.
Yeah. Seems a bit extreme.
Texas is so unpalatable, just in general.
Stand them.
It's really unpalatable.
Yeah. I don't like... No, I shouldn't say it, so I'll stop.
Sorry.
If I'm the president, I'll need that state.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think you have to win Texas to win?
I would think I would have to win Texas.
Okay. Just curious. Oh, gosh. Let's see. There's really not a whole lot else going on, is there?
It's September, man.
This is the 20th anniversary of Pedro's famous game against the Yankees.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's a September 10th game?
Yeah. Struck out 17.
He was unbelievable.
One hitter.
Yeah.
Bet that had a really high game score. Very similar to Kerry Wood, probably.
I would think. That Kerry Wood game remains the damnedest thing I've ever watched.
You said you watched it live?
Yeah.
And that was 98, right?
98. I was working at the Birmingham Post-Herald, and my shift that day was 4 a.m. to 1. So I got home and turned on the Cubs game literally as it began with the intention of kind of taking a nap. I did not take a nap. It was the damnest thing I've ever watched.
Who do you like for the seeing this we kind of close, but people are pretty interested in baseball right now. Who do you like for the NL MVP? The little awards index thing said it's becoming a three-way race between Yelich, Bellinger, and Rendon.
Yeah, Rendon really has played his way into it. I think it almost has to be Bellinger. That being said, Yelich is doing some things in a more versatile way, stealing the bases and all of that stuff. Depends on how much do you factor in team success?
The ESPN thing says why the numbers favor Yelich. Says he leads the awards index because of his contextualized hitting. In English, he had more game-turning hits than Bellinger. He's hitting .476 in high-leverage plate appearances, easily the best figure in the majors. Bellinger has a sizable edge in BWAR that is built off a big edge in defensive runs saved. And let's face it, the key number that will decide the race for many voters by itself. Bellinger's deserving and could well win, but hopefully voters dig a little deeper than BWAR.
In terms of pure value to his team, it's a Yelich-Rendon deal. Anthony Rendon, how old is he, 30?
That's probably about right.
Hey Siri, how old is Anthony Rendon?
Anthony Rendon is 29 years old.
Yeah, good guess.
Yeah, he turns 30 on June the 6th. So he'll turn 30 during his first year in a new contract. He's fascinating because he's going to try to get a Nolan Arenado sort of contract. I anticipate this offseason. Here's your hot take. I anticipate this offseason the Cubs are going to shop Chris Bryant and try to sign Anthony Rendon.
Oh, really?
That is my anticipation.
Okay. More comedy out of the American League. The top paragraph, it says, how close is this race? The race for second is pretty good, but that's about all there is. If you're a Bregman fan hoping for a Trout September swoon, there's this. Trout's OPS by month this season goes 1,052, 1,032, 1,081, 1,214, 1,034, and so far this month 1,117. It's going to be MVP number 3 for Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Done.
He's the best player in the game.
His index number is 4.961. Bregman is in second at 3.872.
He's very likely, when it's all over, we're going to look at Mike Trout's career and say, oh my God, he's the best offensive player in the history of the game. And he never won a World Series.
Maybe I'm wrong here. And I don't want to get down a, hey, nobody's watching baseball thing, because clearly it's doing fine financially and it is what it is, even though it's talked about a lot on whatever. But the top 5 AL people, at least from a numbers standpoint, in the MVP race, even though it's going to be Mike Trout, is Mike Trout, Alex Bregman, Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, and Matt Chapman. What percentage of people who would constitute themselves a sports fan would know who Matt Chapman played for? Just his team.
5%.
You think it's that low?
Yeah. And maybe lower than that. I'll go further. Name me the first 5. Obviously, Trout.
Bregman. A large percentage would get Bregman.
Of general sports fans?
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
No kidding.
No, I think Alex Bregman could walk down the streets.
He plays in a top 5 market.
He could walk down the streets of New York City and not be recognized.
Really?
Yes. Great player. I'm not insulting him, by the way. Great player. Who's number 3?
Mookie Betts.
Plays for a historic franchise.
Same with Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, has been in the World Series, so is Bogaerts. Outside of the Northeast, I think he could walk the streets of Kansas City or St. Louis and no one would know who he was.
Okay.
And then Chapman.
Yeah, just non-existent.
He could probably walk the streets of Oakland and San Francisco and no one know who he was.
Yeah, and he is by the numbers, top 5 MVP candidate right now.
Yes. Was an all-star in the home run derby. For whatever reason, that sport just doesn't. It does fine, like you said. They're making tons of money. Nolan Arenado is going to get $30 million a year plus. You're going to see some big trades this offseason because guys insist on going to free agency, and I think Francisco Lindor is going to get traded. I think you're going to see big names move, but baseball's going to screw up the offseason again.
From a pure numbers standpoint, DeGrom, Scherzer, and Strasburg lead the NL Cy Young race from a numbers standpoint. Although the narrative has been with the other guy from the Dodgers here for a while.
I was going to say, is ERA, is it still under 2?
I have no idea, but he's in this whatever this number is. I don't know how they come up with it. It's an ESPN sabermetric thing. DeGrom is 3.1, Scherzer 2.9, Strasburg 2.7, and then he's 2.4. And the young kid for the Braves is 2.4 as well.
That's why I'm completely checked out of the Cubs thing, is even if they hold on to that second wild card, they're either going to get Strasburg or Scherzer or both in a wild card game.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, you're not winning, so screw it. Be done with it.
In the AL, just for the heck of it, the only two that are sort of close in the award index numbers are Verlander and Minor. However, Verlander appears to have a stranglehold on this thing.
Yeah, he should win. I think he clinched it when he got the no-hitter.
He's got the advanced metrics win, and he leads in wins and ERA. He's 17 strikeouts behind Garrett Cole, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, another guy with a really tough life, Verlander. Tough
yeah,
kid.
I mean, he.
I don't know how he gets up in the morning. I really don't.
To his credit, he is always smiling and seems to understand his position in life.
Yeah, he goes home to Kate Upton.
I mean, he never seems very stressed.
No, he spends every night with Kate Upton. Who, in addition to being a smoke show, seems really cool.
Yeah.
Life's good.
Yeah, Verlander leads the AL in wins, ERAs, strikeouts since the break, and he threw a no-hitter. It's his award.
Yeah, and when he was leaving the Tigers, he pushed that trade to Houston back until the last possible minute because he wanted to go to the Cubs, and the Cubs wouldn't get it done. Theo Epstein has since admitted that was probably a mistake.
Yeah. I guess if Soroka really got hot down the stretch, he could push, but Pete Alonso's going to win the NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean,
he hit his 45th last night.
Yeah, dude's going to hit 50 home runs as a rookie. He's going to win.
Yeah, Soroka's been great. In a normal year, it's his.
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic.
Timing did not work out.
And then in the, in the AL, just kind of last thing here, Brandon Lowe and Alvarez kind of neck and neck. So, that's where we are.
Both of those guys could walk the streets of anywhere and no one would know them.
Anywhere in the world.
Alvarez with the Astros, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
My brother got his picture. I'll give you a funny story. My brother was at the Astros game last night. He works for the Hartford, and it was like the Hartford night or whatever. And he had his picture taken with Jordan Alvarez, and he sent me a text that said, number 44, like with the question mark or whatever.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm like, you have your picture taken, and you don't know who he is. It's just, there you go.
That's funny. Yeah, 316, 24, and 72 as a rookie.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. The Astros are pretty decent at baseball. Just annihilating people here recently, by the way.
Well, and what's crazy about them is everybody they get turns into a star.
Yeah.
Like, they get dudes who just were pretty good.
They're doing what the Cardinals used to do.
Yeah.
When you used to put the birds on the bat, it was like, oh, God, oh, God.
Thank God that's over.
Jason
they're going to win the
Marquis turning into an all-star. Yeah, the Astros' last two games, they beat the Mariners 21-1, and they beat the A's 15-0.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Back-to-back nights. They've now won 3, 4, 5, 7 in a row. All right. Appreciate Blue Delta. Appreciate you guys for listening. Be back tomorrow. We'll have podcasts the rest of the week leading up to Ole Miss and Southeastern Louisiana, 3 p.m. from Vaught-Hemingway on Saturday. Check rebelgrove.com. Snap counts, grades up on the site. Discuss those. Take a gander. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.